All right, today we're cracking up in the new 2025 Stanford AI Index report. Now, this thing is massive, so we're going to pull out the absolute must-know findings for you. And let's just say, what's been happening in AI this past year, it's been, wow, it's explosive. And honestly, a little bit scary.
So you want to know how fast things are moving? Let's just start with one number, 71.7%. By early 2025, that's how many real-world coding problems the best AI could solve. Now get this, just over a year before, in late 2023, that number was a tiny 4.4%. I mean, that's not just getting better, that's a whole new ballgame.
So, how do we even begin to wrap our heads around this? Well, we've broken this whole story down into 4 parts. First, we'll get into the capability explosion, all the incredible new things AI can do. Then we have to talk about the unseen risks that are popping up. And finally, we'll look at how we're all scrambling to keep up, from how we measure these systems to the global race to regulate them.
Okay, let's kick things off with AI's capability explosion. This is where you really see the acceleration hitting dizzying speeds, and not just in the digital world, but in the real, physical world too. Check out this number, 48.9. That's the percentage point improvement AI made in just a single year on a super tough benchmark. We're talking graduate-level questions here, the kind that even human experts struggle with. And what's crazy is that in 2024, for the very first time, AI didn't just improve, it actually started outperforming the expert humans who validate the test.
And this isn't just happening in one little corner. It's like AI leveled up and got a whole suite of new superpowers all at once. It's got advanced reasoning for mind-bending science problems. We already saw its insane new coding skills, but it's also jumping out of the computer. You've got humanoid robots making coffee and working on assembly lines. And in labs, models like AlphaFold 3 are completely changing how fast we can make scientific breakthroughs.
And look at this. This shows a much deeper kind of smarts. This comes from a test called visual common sense reasoning. See, the AI isn't just asked what is in the picture, it has to explain why something is happening. It has to pick the right reason, which shows it's moving beyond just recognizing patterns and into something that looks a lot more like real cognitive thinking. Which brings us to our next chapter, the unseen risks. Because when something gets this powerful this fast, well, a whole flood of unintended consequences starts to rise. And this is where the story starts to get really complicated.
And the problem hits you right away. For years, the big idea in AI was just more data is better. Simple, right? But this chart reveals something really disturbing. For some AI vision models, the more data you feed them, the more likely they are to slap harmful labels, like criminal, onto certain groups of people. So bigger isn't always better. Sometimes it just amplifies our own worst biases.
And these problems are popping up all over the place. AI safety incidents are on a sharp incline. The models are still hallucinating, making up stuff that sounds totally believable but is completely false, even in things like legal documents. The safeguards are way behind, tragically highlighted by a lawsuit claiming a chatbot encouraged a teenager's suicide. And of course, AI is now a superweapon for misinformation, creating everything from fake celebrity ads to full-blown propaganda.
But the report also flags something totally new, and it's pretty unsettling. It's called an infectious jailbreak. This is a brand new type of vulnerability, and it specifically targets systems where you have lots of AIs, or agents, all working together.
So here's the scary part, how it spreads. It all starts with just one AI agent getting infected by a bad prompt. Then that agent just talks to the other AIs in its network. And because they're all designed to learn from each other, that bad behavior just spreads from one to the next, like a virus, until the whole system is compromised. And no human has to do anything else.
The speed and scale here are just mind-blowing. In one simulation with 1 million AI agents, researchers found that if you infect just one of them, it can take over nearly the entire system in as few as 27 conversations. It's like a digital pandemic just waiting to happen. All of this brings us to our final act, the scramble for control. With capabilities going through the roof and risks piling up, the race is on to figure out how to manage these things. And you know, the first step to controlling anything is being able to measure it properly.
So let's just quickly nail down a key term here, an AI benchmark. The easiest way to think about it is like an SAT for an AI. It's just a standardized test that lets researchers see how well different AI systems perform on specific tasks, from recognizing a picture to complex reasoning. But here's the thing. The tests themselves have to evolve.
The old benchmarks were basically like simple academic exams, and AI has pretty much aced them all. So now researchers are building new kinds of tests, ones designed for the messy real world. They're more open-ended, way more complex, and they're designed to see if an AI can actually function in the wild.
Here's a perfect example. WildBench. Instead of using dusty old academic questions, it pulls its questions from over 1 million real, tough things that actual humans have asked chatbots. It's a much more realistic way to stress test what an AI can actually do.
And then you have something like MTEB. This shows you the new depth we're going to. It tests models across 8 different language skills using 58 different datasets. This gives you a much richer, more complete picture of how well a model actually understands language.
And it's not just about language. For self-driving cars, new benchmarks like Bench2 Drive create these hyper-realistic simulations. The goal isn't to see if a car memorized a map, it's to see if the AI can react to unpredictable situations and genuinely, truly drive.
Now for the second part of this scramble for control, the race to regulate. I mean, with the tech moving this fast, you can bet policymakers are rushing to try and build some guardrails.
And the good news is people are starting to move. 2024 saw a huge surge of activity. All around the world, you had big organizations like the OECD, the EU, and the UN releasing their plans for AI governance, trying to set some ground rules. And in the US, a major executive order came out to protect sensitive data from being used to train the AI of foreign adversaries.
And it's not just governments. The research world is all over this too. If you look at where the scientific papers on responsible AI are coming from, the United States is out in front, followed by China and Germany. So there's clearly a global scientific effort to get a handle on these problems. But here's the catch. Here's the big disconnect. For all the urgent talk from governments and all the research papers, the report found a pretty big gap. The big companies, the ones actually building these powerful models, they're rarely using standardized tests for responsible AI. Everyone agrees on how to test for performance, but not for safety. And that right there is the core story of AI right now. It's a frantic, high-stakes race. On one side, you have the explosive, runaway growth of what AI can do. And on the other side, you have us, desperately trying to keep up, trying to measure, understand, and govern it before it gets away from us.
Which leaves us with one final, really critical question. AI is learning, it's adapting, it's evolving at this insane exponential speed. The real test, the one that's going to shape everything, is can we keep up?